Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for joining me for another 5-minute motivational moment. For those who are not aware of who I am Coach Jay, also known as Juaitan Robinson, and I am a spiritual life purpose and women's empowerment partner. And what that means in the simplest terms is that I am a life coach with a focus on women, their pain, their purpose, and their power. I help them reveal, deal, and heal from the pain, define or refine their purpose, and empower or encourage them to walk that purpose out. And today is April 1st. Today is April 1st, so we are starting a brand new month of 5-minute motivational moments. And I so appreciate you for sticking with me as I went through March, coming up with each topic and asking God what it is that I'm supposed to say about each thing. I appreciate you so much as you stuck that out with me. And now we are starting with April. And again, if you have any suggestions about April, what you want to talk about in April, please leave them for me. Leave them in the comments area for me. And I will take a look at them, pray about them, and then go with those that I am able to go forward with. And also, keep your eyes open for my conference that's coming up the weekend before Mother's Day. We are pulling everything together right now. This is a conference for women, and the gist of it is maybe a month ago, maybe just about a month ago, and I promise I'll get right into the topic in just a moment. But a month ago, I posed the question in a group that I'm a part of because this question had been weighing on me. What is it that you wish the women in your life, specifically your mother and those in your village, the women in your life had taught you that you ended up later learning some other way later in life? And the response that I got from that was so overwhelming and blessed my heart so much, but it also pricked me a little bit because that meant that there were the responses that I got. There were so many women who missed out on so much as children and teenagers coming up with their mothers and the women in their lives. They missed out on so many lessons. They were not taught so many things, and they wished that they had. But the beautiful thing is, because of that conversation, they have decided to have these conversations with their own daughters, and I am grateful for that. So the conference that is coming up the weekend before Mother's Day, so that would be May 2nd and 3rd, I believe it is. I don't have the notes with me, and I want to say it's the 2nd and the 3rd. Let me look at my calendar really quickly. Today's topic, however, is free will. I'm sorry, it's May 1st and 2nd. May 1st and 2nd. And I am trying to line up a couple of speakers now. I've already had one speaker to agree. I've got to reach out to another. We're going to be talking about so many wonderful things, so many wonderful things. So again, the topic for today is free will. Free will. And my scripture is Romans 7:19, and this is a great scripture to have for this particular topic because it simply states that a lot of the stuff that we knew was wrong, we did it anyway, and all of the things that we knew were right, we were having a hard time, we were struggling with doing those things, even though we knew that they were right. And I remember being in an extremely toxic relationship. And when I say extremely toxic, I mean this relationship could have very well been the death of me at some point, if I had not eventually pulled out of it. But I remember being in this relationship with this man and knowing from the very beginning that one, he was not my husband, and two, the relationship would take me through some things. I knew this ahead of time. It would take me through some things that I did not necessarily have to go through in life if I didn't want to. And I entered into the relationship anyway. And I had a great conversation with God, and some may believe me and some may not. That's not for me to dictate. It's up to you. But I had a great conversation with God, and God gave me permission to be with this person for 3 months. I know some would say God does not mandate fornication. He doesn't. He does not. He does not mandate fornication. But this was a lesson that I had to get. So I was supposed to be with this person for 3 months and 3 months only. And instead of me staying with that person for that 3 months and that 3 months only, I extended my connection with this person and had even left this person and then came back to them. And the lessons that I got out of it were good lessons. They're always good lessons. There's always something that I can learn from it. But I also realized that I did not necessarily have to get those lessons that way. I could have walked away from the relationship before it even started. And when I say toxic, I mean toxic. I mean manipulation. I mean doing things that were not in my nature. I mean experimenting with things that I should never have experimented with. I mean all kinds of mind games, just all kinds of things that I should not have ever experienced, but I chose to, even though I knew full well that it was going to be a toxic situation. That was clear to me from the very beginning, that it was going to be a toxic situation, and I went in anyway. But the blessing in that is that God allowed me to make up my own mind to go through it longer than I was supposed to at that, and He kept me the entire time. He kept me the entire time and brought me out of that situation. And yeah, I was smacked around a little bit because I went through those things that I didn't have to go through. And my head got bumped a couple of times in the midst of that. And I don't mean physically so. I mean, I don't mean literally. I mean figuratively. So it wasn't that kind of toxic relationship. The abuse that I experienced was not well, to a degree it was. I was going to say it wasn't a physical abuse, but to a degree it actually was. But God kept me through that entire relationship, even though I wasn't supposed to be in it, even though I was totally disobedient in being in that relationship. But that is the thing that we have that is called free will. When we follow Christ, He gives us the option of not following Him. He does not force us to be with Him. Now, in some actual flesh relationships, we may feel forced to be in the relationship with a person, but that's not free will. God has given us the ability of free will. We don't have to be a part of that family if we don't want to be. We can do whatever it is that we choose to do and hope that we survive it all. Or we can choose to go with Christ, and even in our moments of mental lapses, of clarity, the ability of, in our moments of not being clear, in our plain and simple stupidity, He still covers us and keeps us because we've chosen to be a part of the family. We've chosen to be with Him. We've also just made some choices to go against what He has said. When I want to do right, I cannot. But everything I don't want to do that is wrong, I do. That is Romans 7:19. Go read it. Enjoy it. Read the whole thing. There's a whole lot more to it. I just gave you the little bit that pertained to today. God has given us free will, the will to do whatever it is that we choose to do, even if it means that we have to go through a hardship to get the lesson, even if it means that we choose to follow him and do it as it is that he has required us or asked us to do. So this has lasted a whole lot longer than I intended for it to last, but that's because I had to give you my commercial at the beginning. If I don't see you for the rest of the day or the rest of the week, have an amazing rest of the day, an amazing rest of the week, and I will see you tomorrow for our next topic, one of which I'm actually kind of excited about because so many of us lack this thing. So with that, I will say peace and blessings. Remember to walk in your purpose and know that I do appreciate you.